It's quite beautiful. So, like, I'm the biggest Florida advocate. I've taken to Florida a duck to water. I wear around a Make America Florida shirt. Like, that's how Floridian I am at this point. It is great. Mark says, do you torture your kids with dad jokes? Which jokes are your go-tos? Oh, yeah. I love my kids. My daughter, my oldest daughter, she's 7, is very, very smart. Right? She's going into 2nd grade, but she reads at a 6th grade level, so she does puns, and she really likes puns. So, we make up our own dad jokes. For a while, her favorite was, what kind of key both opens your door and steals your banana? The monkey. There are all sorts of, she also like, how do you know when a dad joke is a dad joke? When it's apparent? She liked that one as well. James says, hey Ben, I saw an article based on a report from UCLA economists that compared California to Florida in a strict versus loose lockdown comparison. It claimed that stricter lockdown states posted better economic growth in 2020. The claims rely on non-pharmaceutical interventions, and it seems to me something is missing. Since Florida opened earlier, was the economic growth simply less of a single spike and more of a steady positive slope? Whereas California can show a larger spike due to a more delayed opening. I'd appreciate your thoughts. If this article seems to run counter to the actual data, I'm curious how valid their claims are. I haven't seen the actual article, but if the argument is that right now California is experiencing steeper growth than Florida, that's because their baseline was lower. And the reality is that the places that have experienced the lowest growth, probably, during the comeback from the pandemic, are probably places like South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, places that basically saw no drop-off during the pandemic except going to work. It turns out whatever you use the baseline is defining of growth. And this is how you can play with stats really, really easily. It's one of the things about inflation, by the way. If you're comparing prices today versus prices a year ago, and this is where the Biden administration is not entirely wrong about inflation. If you compare inflation now to inflation a year ago, you can't really do that because the reality is that we're in the middle of a pandemic and demand has completely dropped off the cliff a year ago. And now demand is back. Now, does that mean we don't have inflationary spirals happening where still inflating the currency by blowing money into the economy? No, I mean, that's real. But we also have to take into account the fact that there was going to be some natural inflation because, again, the economy is coming back now. Baselines matter, in other words. And this is true in everything. And you have to check base rates. When people say things like, you see studies like this all the time, for example, where people will say, eating X food makes you